Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into one of the biggest, most emotional milestones for new parents, weaning. It's a transition that, let's be honest, brings up a ton of questions. So, in the next few minutes, we're going to walk through a clear, practical guide to make this journey just a little bit smoother for both you and your baby. First things first, let's just acknowledge the elephant in the room. For so many mothers, weaning isn't just a physical change, it's a really emotional one. You know, it's the end of this unique, special bond, and it is completely normal to feel everything from sadness to relief. Just recognizing that this is a huge shift for both of you is the real first step. So, to guide you through it all, we've broken this down into 5 clear sections. We'll start with why weaning is so important in the first place, and then we'll pinpoint the best time to get started. From there, we'll get into the practical methods, tackle the part that everyone dreads, nighttime, and finally cover what to do when it feels like nothing is working. Okay, so let's start with that big why. Weaning isn't just about closing one chapter. It's really about starting the next one on the right foot. This is where your child's whole relationship with food and nutrition really starts to take shape. It really boils down to 3 key things. So after 6 months, your baby's world just explodes with activity. They're crawling, they're exploring, they're burning so much more energy. Their nutritional needs start to outgrow what breast milk alone can provide. They now need that iron, those vitamins, and all the minerals from solid foods to fuel all that amazing growth. And this slide right here perfectly captures the core dilemma. I mean, think about it. If a baby is constantly full from milk, they have absolutely zero incentive to even try new tastes and textures of solid food. This can create picky eaters down the line and can lead to what some call a breastfeeding dependency, a habit that just gets tougher and tougher to change the longer you wait. Which leads us directly to our next crucial point, timing and mindset. Knowing when to start and preparing yourself mentally are honestly just as important as the practical steps you're going to take. So what's the magic window? Well, doctors generally say that the ideal time to fully wean your baby is sometime between 1 and 2 years of age. After 2 years, kids are just more aware, their habits are way more ingrained, and the whole process can become significantly more of a challenge. And this is, without a doubt, the hardest part, your own resolve. Every single instinct you have is going to scream at you to just give in when your baby cries. You might even get some pressure from family, but being mentally prepared to stay consistent is the absolute key to making this transition successful for everyone involved. All right, let's get into the how. What are the actual practical steps you can take to make this whole process as smooth as possible? Let's look at the foundational strategies. The key here is to play the long game. This is not about stopping cold turkey. It's all about gradually shifting the balance. You start by slowly upping the amount of solid foods. And here's a pro tip. Try to introduce a bottle early, like around 2 or 3 months, so it's not some strange new object later on. That way, when you're ready, offering an alternative like cow's milk in a cup, plus some fun distractions, feels like a natural next step, not some sudden, jarring change. Now here is a fascinating technique that can be a total game changer, the change of scenery. Taking even a short trip somewhere can be incredibly effective. Why? Well, because a new environment completely breaks all the old routines and triggers. The usual chair you feed in, the specific time of day, it's all different, which opens up this perfect opportunity to introduce a whole new feeding pattern. Okay, now for the big one, nighttime weaning. This is often the final and toughest hurdle because, for a baby, breastfeeding at night isn't just about food. It's comfort. It's how they get back to sleep. So let's look at how to gently change that association. This table lays it out perfectly. The goal is to shift the entire bedtime routine. So, instead of feeding to sleep, you make sure your baby has a nice, full tummy from a late dinner. Instead of you always being the one to put them to bed, have your partner take over, and when they cry, comfort them with cuddles and soothing words, not with feeding. And this point is absolutely critical. Getting your partner involved is one of the most powerful moves you can make. I mean, think about it. When you go in to comfort the baby, they smell you, they associate you with milk, and they're naturally going to demand it. But when your partner goes in, that trigger just isn't there, which can be exactly what's needed to break the cycle. But what if you've tried all of this and you're still at your wit's end? It can be so incredibly frustrating. When the gradual methods just aren't cutting it, there are a couple of more direct strategies you can consider as a last resort. These techniques are definitely more direct. One option is applying something safe but bitter tasting to create a negative association with breastfeeding. The other is simply being firm. Understanding that yes, there will be tears, but holding strong in your decision. And this really brings it all home. When everything else has been tried, your loving firmness becomes the most important tool you have. It is gut-wrenching to listen to your baby cry, nobody is denying that, but sometimes holding that boundary with consistency is truly the kindest thing you can do to help them through this final step of the transition. So let's just bring it all together. The most important thing to take away from all of this is that weaning isn't some overnight event. It's a process, and success comes from applying these strategies slowly, patiently, and consistently over time.
Ultimately, remember that weaning isn't an ending. It's a brand new beginning. It's the start of a new chapter of discovery, independence, and growth. For both of you, you've got this.